Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the UFC Fight Island 5 post-fight discussion show. Crazy night of fights that we had. Let's talk about the elephant in the room. That was in probably one of the best knockouts we've ever seen by Joaquin Buckley.
Yeah, I mean, I've been trying to think all night of a knockout that I thought was better than that this year. Like, that has to be knockout of the year, right?
Knockout of the year, absolutely. I was trying to think of another one at any time in this modern era of UFC that I think is, I mean, there's been some really good ones, but with his other leg held up like that, I mean, I think that was the craziest, just like physical thing I've seen somebody do for a knockout.
Yeah, it was. I don't even know. Like, do you think he actually thought he could knock him out like that, or was he just creating space? Like, the whole thing was just wild. I couldn't believe it.
I have no idea. I mean, he went for it, so he would have been in a pretty vulnerable position. I was thinking about that when I saw it afterwards too in slow motion. He would, if that hadn't worked, he would have been in a pretty vulnerable position, and his leg still would have been caught, most likely.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, it was insane. Like, maybe like Barbosa's spinning heel kick of like Terry Adam. That's the only thing I can even think of that like comes somewhat close to that. It was insane.
Yeah, and then another. I mean, wow, we had quite a few good finishes to go along with some good decisions. I mean, this was kind of just a great card across the board.
Yeah, I agree. From like prelims to the spinning heel kick main event, it was just everything about it was great.
I thought when I was watching live in the main event, I thought that spinning kick had missed for some reason. Like the way when I saw on my screen, I thought it had missed for the briefest second, and I was really confused about what had happened. And then I realized that it had landed really clean.
Yeah, it was beautiful. Do you think it was stopped early though?
No, are people saying that?
I don't know if people are. When I watched it, I thought it was stopped a bit early. Like, you see, he right away regains guard. I don't know. Like, he maybe it just lands another punch or two and then it doesn't matter. But it seems like he was at least making an attempt to better his position.
Well, didn't he did he take one on the ground before it was stopped?
I don't know. I know he did that backflip, and then Sandhagen jumped on him, and then he immediately like shrimped out and put his feet on the hips. But he might have been eating shots while that was happening. But I felt like he was making attempts.
I wonder if it's already. I mean, I'm sure it's on Twitter. If I just go to Twitter, I'm sure it's a highlight right there. I didn't consider it being an early stoppage while I was watching it. Let's see here. I bet if I just type in Sandhagen, it comes right up. Oh, here we go. So, yep, he throws the leg kick. Oh, no. So he ate, while he was turtled on his front, he ate one clean to the side of the head. And then after he rolls over onto his back, he takes two or three, bouncing his head against the mat pretty much, it looks like, before the ref stops it. So he definitely ate two clean ones, like facing upward, just ate two right onto his face.
Okay, fair. Maybe I'm off on that one.
Yeah. I can see how I thought the kick missed too. He just followed through so beautifully that his leg didn't even slow down.
Yeah, I think when I watched it the first time, I thought it barely touched him, and then it's on the replay that you realize that, like, wow, that was just perfect.
Yeah, that was just as good as it gets. A lot of not anything too crazy of an upset as far as the odds go. I don't think nothing was too far apart for any underdogs that took a.
No, yeah, like Buckley was a pretty big underdog, although you called that one. Props to you on that one.
He was a big, he was like a 200 underdog.
Yeah. Besides that, I think that's about it.
Yeah, I think, you know what? I think that, I mean, so that's going to be like the most viewed UFC clip in the history of the promotion, I feel like. I mean, that's
Yeah, I think you might be right. Like he just went from like getting decimated by Kevin Holland to being a star, like out of
Yeah.
nowhere.
Well,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
His whole life's going to change. I followed him on Twitter today before the fights because I had said that he was going to get that KO.
Yeah.
So I followed him, and he had like 3,500 followers, and we'll see.
Jeez.
Yeah, let's see. Caroline just thought, she said she thought he could have been given 3 to 5 more seconds. And then never mind, I didn't realize how clean the shots after the kick were. Yeah, those were, I think everybody, there were a couple that were really straight onto his jaw against the mat, it looked like.
Yeah, it's fair. I'd have to go back and look how clean the shots were. I guess if they were landing clean, then him shrimping out shouldn't really matter when he was that rocked.
Yeah. Big fight from Tom Aspinall. I'm excited to see where he goes from here.
Yeah, I've actually never been that high on him. I think he's been like a lot of medium level competition. Although I think he's got a lot of holes in his game. Although hitting that takedown, like that showed great fight IQ, and it made me think that wow, okay, maybe for a heavyweight, like he's got a future here.
Yeah, well, considering the heavyweight fight that we saw on the main card, I saw a lot of people that said that fight was better than they expected. I expected it to be a really good fight and was disappointed.
Yeah, I guess that depends on how you came into that one. I wasn't expecting much out of that. Rothwell was very slow, and I didn't think Tybura could hit takedowns. And then they ended up throwing like I don't even know what their final numbers were, but like Rothwell threw like 250 punches or something. So
yeah, but then at the end of it, he didn't even look like he could get his hands all the way up. I mean, to even like throw, he couldn't even get he couldn't lift his shoulder up. He was so tired. Yeah, he threw like 140 in the first round.
yeah, it was wild. Like that's got to be double his output of any other round in his entire career.
Yeah, or in the gym, or in training, or doing cardio.
Fair.
Yeah, there were a lot of fights over the course of the night where I was like, "Oh, this is going to be fight of the night. This is going to be fight of the night." Has Dana done the bonuses officially yet?
I don't think so. I was just right after the fights I drove here, so I didn't check everything. But I don't. This would be pretty early.
I think he's giving. I think he is giving Buckley $100,000.
Yeah, I mean the guy deserves it.
Yeah, I think he's actually giving him like a double bonus.
Yeah, are they still going to do 2 performance of the nights, or is he just gets both of them?
I would assume they're just going to do a big one for him because they're definitely making more than $50,000 off that KO. I assume Dana's just going to be like, "Hey, man, congratulations on all of this money."
Fair.
And what would be the secondary? Is it Sandhagen for that?
Probably, yeah, it has to be.
It has to be, right?
Yeah,
What would be our?
I feel like you do 4 performance of the nights and no fight of the night for this one, because like, how do you deny Chris Dawkins as well?
That was a really big. I did not think that he was gonna win that fight or do that. That was quite the knockout. Yeah, who's he fight from here?
I don't know.
I don't think he should go fight anybody ranked or anything crazy, but I guess there's not that many dudes.
Yeah, it's not a deep division
in those rankings. Yeah.
No. I don't know. I'm trying to think of a name. I don't even know. Like, who's Struve fighting again? Struve's fighting somebody. You give him the loser of the Struve. The name's blanking me though. I don't know. Maybe that's too high too.
Yeah, I mean, or you have him fight Tom Aspinall or Juan Espino, one of these dudes that we've seen get a win after like post contender series, like a real win in the UFC.
That's fair.
He's got a bunch of fights, but he's lost some fights too, for sure.
Yeah. I saw on Twitter we were both sort of on the same train there. That definitely not like it's 2 big wins for him, but still not overly high on him, and definitely gonna be paying attention to how much the public likes him after those 2 wins, because I would definitely like to fade him.
Yeah, I had said prior to the fights that I thought he was kind of already at his peak where he was going to go in his UFC career, and I think I still feel that way. I think Nascimento just didn't fight nearly as well as I thought he was gonna. I wasn't impressed with his performance.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And I thought I would be. I thought that was going to be a dominating performance from him.
Yeah, I agree. I thought it was going to be very one-sided. And I think I like your Juan Aspinall idea. The more I think about it, I think that's a good way to go to start building up Juan.
Yeah, he's kind of like my favorite heavyweight up-and-comer prospect that we've gotten recently is Juan Aspinall. I really like his game. It's a very complete game for a dude that big, and he's big he's like Brock Lesnar big. He's not like Ben Rothwell big.
Yeah, I agree. I'm very excited to see where they go with him. My only concern is he's 39 right now. Like I hope they just rush him. Just don't give him easy fights. Just rush him.
Yeah. I don't think he has does he have a deep martial arts background though? I thought he's just kind of new to the thing.
He did I'm gonna say it wrong. It's like Saglanian wrestling or something like that. Some wrestling out of Africa. He's actually like the only like non-African white champion, or like the first non-African white champion out there. But he did that for a lot of years.
Oh wow. Oh, and I guess he had a couple regional fights back in like 2010, 2011, and then he started like fighting as a job. It looks like he had, oh man, yeah, he fought 7 times in 2017 to really get things kicked off.
Yeah, that's not even counting his tough record, is it? No, that probably is counting his tough record. I don't know.
Ultimate Fighter was in 2018, so that was the year before he was on the Ultimate Fighter. He had like 7 professional fights in the year. Yeah, I'm interested to see what they do with him. He's 10-1 professionally, so I mean, it looks good on paper to put him against a tough opponent now. Yeah,
I like the idea. Put him up against someone, even just Dricus, winning streak, build him a bit, and then just get him right into the top 15. He's 39. Let's rush him.
Yeah. Do you think? I think he beats Dricus pretty handily.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And then goes on to fight someone we've seen a lot.
Yeah, I would pick Juan Aspinall right now against most of the top 10s in the heavyweight division.
Yeah, but not. He definitely hits a wall against like Francis and Stipe. I'd say still at this point. I don't want him to jump too fast.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he beats Stipe. I don't know. I'm not very high on Francis compared to how. I mean, have we seen anything really that like his run since the Stipe loss has been incredible for sure, but we haven't seen much out of him. Have we seen that he's filled any of those holes from the Stipe fight? Because I haven't seen him defend a takedown since. And when you watch his win against Jairzinho, like when you look, he just steps forward, like
runs forward. Yeah,
it's not technical. And he's got so much power to make up for it. But what happens the time he doesn't connect with that bomb? Does Jairzinho hit him with a check hook and not put him out? Like I don't know. Like I'm not convinced he wins that fight at a super high percentage of the time.
I think next time we see him fight, he's a lot more skilled. There's kind of 2 camps. There's people that think that way, and people think that he's going to keep getting a lot better. I think he's going to come back better and better and end up being a heavyweight champion for a while once he gets to like his peak skill ceiling. But if I'm wrong,
I think he's young enough in his career that that's definitely a strong possibility. Just I don't know. I'm not sold on it yet.
That's fair. I did see on Twitter almost immediately after his fight, Joaquin Buckley got on and called out Khamzat Chimaev. He said, "I'll fight you in November, December, whenever Khamzat wanted to fight."
Yeah, I mean, why not? Like nobody wants to fight Khamzat. Like I don't know. I say just book him against anybody at this point. I don't know what happened to that Damian Maia thing. I was like semi excited for that, I guess.
I think he took a fight with somebody else, I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I think he's scheduled to just fight just a completely another person. Who am I? Damian Maia, yeah. Let's see. Let's get him pulled up on the old Tapology here.
I wouldn't blame him if he did. I mean, it was one thing wanting to fight him when he was grappling everyone. After watching him knock out, who did he knock out against? The guy's name.
Nope. Nope, he does not have a fight scheduled. I guess he's just not going to fight.
Just,
He's
I
not
guess I
going to
don't
fight.
blame him.
Put Joaquin Buckley in there. I think what you got to do with Khamzat is put a dude in there that has the power to knock him out. And you got to have a dude that can knock him out in 30 seconds, or otherwise you're kind of risking the other. You know, you got to have somebody that can end the fight in 30 seconds, or otherwise I feel like Khamzat will end the fight in 30 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so crazy. Like, I don't even know who beats that guy. Like, I don't know. It sort of feels like the Juan Aspinall situation, except you don't need to rush him because he's not old. It's like, yeah, he could. I think he'd be a serious threat for that division in a very short period of time.
I want to see him work his way up a little bit. I'm not sold that he's gonna. People are saying he should fight for the belt in like 2 fights. And
no, let's see him like. I want to see him like top 15, then top 10, then top 5. Like,
yeah,
but I have a hard time seeing him fail those tests.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see him again. I want to see somebody that's got really, really good striking defense against him. Somebody that can prevent themselves from getting just brutalized in the first round. Like I feel like we haven't seen him fight anybody that can, like, there are people in that division that can prevent themselves from getting knocked out without landing a shot. And
yeah,
he just hasn't fought him yet.
Can those people defend takedowns too?
Like,
I wasn't as sold until I watched him. Just who did he fight again? The guy that beat Ian Heinisch, or lost Ian Heinisch. Who did he beat? I can't think of it.
See, that's what I'm saying though. Is I've already forgotten who.
Yeah, I can think of
the
all
dudes he beat on the way up.
I can think of all the guy, like he lost Ian Heinisch, lost the Jiu-Jitsu guy, beat Darian Wynn. I can't think of his name for some reason.
Here he is. He just won against GM3. That's right.
GM3, yes.
Yeah. And everybody was real high on GM3. I wasn't in particular.
I don't know
before
why.
that fight. Everybody was saying like, "Oh, you got to respect GM3." Everybody's counting him out, and I kind of counted him out, and it went exactly kind of how I wasn't surprised by that result. I wasn't high on Gerald Mearshart 30 and 31 and 12 coming into the fight, coming in to end Khamzat's run. I didn't think that he was like the bad dude that was going to end the hype train.
Yeah, I agree. However, I was like, before that fight, I was like, okay, Khamzat's pretty good, but I want to see what he does. But seeing that he doesn't need to go to the ground, seeing that he can just blitz you on the feet, now I'm just like, whew, this might be the guy.
Yeah.
But we'll see, I guess.
Yeah, I do think he should settle into welterweight. I think between welterweight and middleweight, just kind of looking at him, I feel like 170 is probably the move for him to be like a big guy, because he obviously doesn't have any problem being at 170. I mean, he's eventually going to have to pick for at least stretches of time. You can't hop back and forth at a high level. You can't like have one fight and then another fight at 2 different weight classes back and forth like that.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's working for him. It's working for him right now. Nobody's ever tried to be the champ before they're one champ.
Yeah, that's true.
But the precedent's been set now for people to be champ. So maybe we'll see a new wave of people that start working their way up that can kind of be flexible with their weight. And we'll see people work their way up and be like, hey, I'm looking for a title fight in either weight class.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down for that. That sounds exciting. I don't know how realistic it is for people to want to, as like a career management path, but we'll see, I guess. Yeah.
It would be a wild career choice to decide to commit to that.
Yeah.
Caroline Francis is just a wild child with a couple firecracker fists, and I don't think we've seen anything that suggests he can beat Stipe right now. That's fair. That's fair. He's been boxing with Teddy Atlas a little bit. Looks like he's trying to clean up the striking accuracy. But yeah, we haven't seen him do anything that's very technical. He's so big though at a certain point that I think it just stops mattering.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'll give you my hot take. I think Curtis Blades beats Francis Ngannou in a third fight.
Ooh, wow.
I
That
think,
would shake everything up for the UFC, wouldn't it?
yeah. Yeah, I'd love to see that third fight. You know, the first fight, France was clearly winning much earlier in both their careers. Doctor stoppage, though, didn't get finished. Second fight, I think you could really, really strongly argue that was early. That was an early stoppage. Like I really think that was a bad stoppage, and we didn't get to see if Francis could defend those takedowns, and I don't think he can.
That's fair. That'd be a good fight. You think Stipe beats Francis this next time for sure?
Yeah, I mean, when you have power like Francis, I think you're never like dead. Like you're always pretty live for a win. You're always like a minimum 30% or something. But I don't think he wins.
That's fair. Yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Stipe stan. Stipe is one of my favorite fighters of all time. I'm a big fan of Stipe.
Yeah, I like Stipe, and he looked like his physical shape for that third Cormier fight was on a different level than any other Stipe we've seen. I'd be nervous to be the next guy that fights him.
Yeah. He just there's something about the way there's just like he's like the perfect heavyweight UFC fighter.
Yeah.
He's just like he's so good.
Yeah, he is. He's
good
everywhere.
He's also so big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
good. I miss. So what was it? Stipe said he was like tweeting. He said that if Brock Lesnar makes a comeback, it should be me that gets to fight him.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
I love that.
Yeah, I'm not super excited to see Brock fight again, but if he's gonna fight, put him against Stipe. Let's do it.
Yeah, I'd pay for it.
Yeah.
I don't think there's not really any chance that Brock Lesnar wins that fight for me, but I'd still love to see the fight.
Yeah, I could agree with that. It'd be fun. It'd be fun just to watch the hype of it all and get behind it. Yeah.
Anderson Silva is fighting at the end of this month.
Yeah.
I just found that out literally during this fight card tonight.
Yeah. Does anybody actually want to see Anderson Silva fight still? Is that a thing?
Well, so he's got it. It's his one win in his last 8 fights, going back to like 2016, isn't it, or something?
Yeah, and like,
did
he really win that? Like, the judges gave it to him, but did he really win that fight? I don't think so.
Yeah, how many? It's been literally, I just saw it today. It's been so many years since I really had to think about Anderson Silva like that. Yeah, he's fighting Uriah Hall on Halloween of this year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's a fun way to build up Uriah Hall. Like, the fight's been canceled like 4 times or whatever over however many years, but
yeah, at a certain point, though, it's been too many years. He's 45, lost to Cannonier and Adesanya in 2019, got his decision win in 2017 over Derek Brunson, lost to Cormier in 2016, lost to Bisping in 2016, no contest with Nick Diaz in 2015, lost to Chris Weidman twice in 2013, and then we get back to his last win before the Brunson fight in 2012. I graduated from high school in 2012.
Yeah, I think I was in high school then too. That's yeah, I don't even know. I mean, I guess in some defense, like, those are all elite level fighters, but I mean, the guy's 45. I don't know.
Yeah, well, but he's supposed to be I mean, he's an elite level fighter, right? Like, he's supposed to be like he's supposed to be the middleweight greatest of all time, but I think he should stay retired. I think Uriah Hall wins that fight.
I agree. So how much do you think this hurt Anderson's legacy? Like, I would still consider Anderson the greatest of all time. And I know there's arguments for like 3 or 4 other guys, but is it hard to keep arguing that on Anderson's side when he keeps racking up losses?
I think he's already been surpassed.
Yeah.
I think specifically for Anderson Silva, this doesn't hurt his legacy because he should have retired 4 years ago and stayed retired.
Fair.
So I don't think at this point, at this point, he's turned himself into a guy where I just don't care how many times he comes back and fights. And like, I mean, because if he beats Uriah Hall, it's not like he's going to go on a tear through that division.
Yeah.
So like, even if he wins this fight, I still like don't care. It's like a separate fighter from Anderson Silva. We've got like old Anderson Silva now, and I know not to expect anything that I would have expected from like prime Anderson Silva. So it's just like he's a whole different fighter now.
Yeah, I like that take.
Like it doesn't touch his legacy from before because that chapter was closed in 2012.
Yeah, I agree. I like that take. Just ignore whatever he does now as far as legacy goes.
Yeah, because it doesn't. I mean, what's it do? Tarnish his wins from over a decade ago? I mean,
yeah, it shouldn't.
Yeah,
so if you think he's already been surpassed, who's your goat?
I already think Israel Adesanya is the best middleweight of all time. Honestly,
Really? That's a hard take.
Yeah. I think Izzy's the. Yeah, man. I think Izzy's up there in best he's not the greatest of all time, pound for pound, but like he's up there with the best UFC fighters of all time for sure for me right now. Just in terms of like mixed martial arts success, I mean, I think I let his kickboxing and boxing records sway me a little bit into that. If we're talking like strictly performance within the Ultimate Fighting Championship, I guess you kind of have to give it to Anderson Silva just based on him being like the Michael Jordan of the division, specifically in that promotion. But I think maybe he's not the GOAT, but Israel Adesanya is the best middleweight mixed martial arts fighter of all time.
That's fair. You think if you fought a prime Anderson Silva, he'd win?
Yes.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if I disagree, but it's interesting.
It's a hot take for some. Some people would strongly disagree with me on that, but I mean that is always the follow-up question: is do you think he'd beat a prime Anderson Silva? And I do. I mean, people think this is a bad argument, but I think there is better competition now in the UFC than there was 10 to 15 years ago. I think there's higher level athletes, there's higher level coaching, higher level equipment and techniques, better recovery. I mean, the game's been elevated, and from the point where Anderson Silva had his amazing success to now, the game has changed to be. I feel that way about a lot of sports. It's like the guys that people say are like you look back to like the guys that played NBA in like the 60s. It's like they were pioneers, but like in terms of if they played like the current, like anybody in the NBA currently, they're gonna get smoked just because of how much the game has evolved. And I feel that kind of the same way about the UFC as it's been evolving. We're getting to a point where you've got such complete athletes in there that I don't think a lot of the old guys would. Like, do you see? There's a lot of the old guys just wouldn't get the titles that they got back in like the fledgling UFC days.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Like when I guess on the Israel Anderson thing, I guess Anderson's never really fought a Robert Whittaker. Like he's never fought anyone near as good as Robert Whittaker. So I guess it's a fair argument.
Yeah, and he's got. I mean, his list of wins is insane, but it is, of course, all guys from his era, and then all of Izzy's wins are going to be against guys from this current era. So it's it's hard that the crossover is guys that were fighting in either at the very start of their careers or at the end of their careers if there's any crossover between them. So
yeah, no, it's an interesting point. I don't know if I disagree. I don't know if I can ever pick against Anderson and everything though. He's very biased there. But
yeah, I mean, I think Izzy beats John Jones at 205.
Ooh. I think I agree with you, but only because I don't think we're getting the best John Jones anymore. I think his last 3 performances have been lackluster.
Even at light heavyweight?
Yeah, I think his like with John Jones of 2014 have a split decision to Thiago Santos. I don't think so. Like I think he's tentative now, and I think a lot of that is just due to him being older. And I think we're gonna see him lose very soon.
John Jones is definitely at a point where taking any losses to anybody fucks his legacy up super bad, because he's so aggressive about himself being like the best of all time and being undefeated that I think he looks, I don't think he should have ever made the decision to go up to heavyweight in the first place, and I don't think he's actually gonna do it. And I don't think he would. I think there's a couple guys that beat him if he actually tries to move up and stay in the heavyweight division. I don't think he's big enough.
I agree. Yeah, I think if I was John Jones, I would fight John, win my title back, and retire.
That would be a great career move that he has probably already sunk himself in way too deep to make.
Possibly.
I feel like the public would be upset with him for that choice too at this point, because he's in so deep. I have John Jones muted on Twitter because he tweets so much about every single fight that ever happens. He tweets so much that I can't do it. And it's so aggressive all the time.
That's funny. Yeah, I actually don't follow him. I don't know what he's tweeting, but that's funny.
It's even like, I swear to God, I've seen him call out, he'll like shit talk dudes in like the welterweight division after they win. Like he talks shit directly to so many people on Twitter.
It's hilarious.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we are we're getting towards the end of John Jones's career. I would be very interested to see Izzy move up to 205. I don't see any way that Jan beats Israel Adesanya. Not John Jones, but Jan.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't see how I don't think he beats Izzy or John. He's in a really fucked up position right now where he's chilling as the light heavyweight champion, but there's a dude above him and a dude below him that can both come to the light heavyweight division and I think take his belt.
Yeah, I think you're right. I haven't really given it much thought, but I think you're right. Yeah, he's sort of just like praying that they both just stay in their place.
Yeah. He looked great in that fight against Dominic Reyes, though.
He looks so good. I've never been super high on Jan. I didn't think he was going to win that fight. I almost considered betting on Reyes, actually. I'm happy I didn't. And yeah, he looks so good.
I bet on Jan. I thought he was going to win. I publicly stated I thought he was going to win, and then I was very happy with how that fight went. I was stressing.
That's sharp. Yeah. I wouldn't have been on that side, so I mean, props to you.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when he won, I really like Jan, but I don't think he's going to be the champion for that long. I bet he can get I mean, if John Jones and Israel Adesanya really want to fight each other, Jan can definitely get a fight in against somebody that's actually supposed to be in the light heavyweight division that he can get a title defense. I mean, who's he fight next now?
I mean,
who's number?
It's got to be Thiago Santos, Glover winner. Whoever wins that fight has to fight next.
When is that fight? Wasn't that supposed to be in like 2 weeks?
Yeah, then it got postponed. I'm pretty sure they already have a date for it, though.
Oh, that's good. Okay. Santos, Teixeira. God, it feels like we just saw Glover Teixeira fight not that long ago.
Yeah, how crazy is that we can have like 40-year-old Glover. Is he 41 now? I don't even know how old he is, but we can have him fighting for a title like 10 years after he fought John Jones.
Saturday, November 7th, we've got Thiago Santos and Glover Teixeira. Is that?
There you go.
Oh, wow. Okay. Oh, that's much quicker than I thought they were doing. Glover Teixeira is 40 years old.
Yeah, jeez. Like, I don't know. Did anyone really think he was going to get back to the title shot after the John Jones fight? Like, now he's going to do it like many years later against John. It's just crazy. At 40 years old. I don't know. I don't think he beats Thiago Santos, but if he does, that's such a good story, especially if he wins the title.
That is a fantastic story. I don't think he beats Thiago Santos either.
Yeah.
Man, tough though. I mean, we'll see who fights Jan for the belt. I think Jan beats both those guys. I don't know if Jan beats Dominic Reyes in a rematch. I definitely think Jan loses to John Jones and Israel Adesanya. So that's an interesting position for a champion to be in.
Yeah, it is. And I agree with all those takes. So, yeah, I don't know.
Because there is a world where the current light heavyweight champion is actually the fourth best fighter in that division.
Yeah, that's wild to even think about.
Yeah,
like Michael Bisping being champion.
what a world you don't think I see a lot of people say that he just straight up like they have no idea how he ended up with a belt.
Do you think he was the number one at the time?
No.
No. I don't know.
No.
I mean, I think he probably loses to Rockhold like 8 out of the 10 times they fought. I think he lost to Kelvin right after GSP. Yeah, I don't know. That was wild to me. Those are fun times though.
Those were fun times, man. We're starting to get to the point where we're starting to get distinct eras in the UFC where you can like group it by decade, and that's pretty cool to be able to see stuff like that. You've got the guys like all of the commentators and like Chael Sonnen and all the guys that have been there from the beginning. Like Joe Rogan's been with the promotion since the fucking 90s. Like, and all these guys are becoming like massive personalities in like just the general sports world and like moving on from fighting to still be in like the sports world. It's a real sport now. It's super cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. Like watching it go from like Spike to Fox to ESPN. And you're right. Like all these guys are big stars now, and like you can see it through like these guys are making huge dollars through Instagram now and like all these social media platforms. Like it's cool to see. Like obviously there's still issues with fighter pay and yada yada yada, but it's cool to see that we're like the sport's finally getting the recognition that everyone said it would eventually get.
Yeah, well, and boxing is dying, if not already dead.
Yes,
which sucks because I'm a fan of what boxing. I gotta stop saying I'm a big boxing fan because I don't watch boxing anymore because I'm a big fan of what boxing used to be.
Fair.
Like I've paid for so many like Mayweather fights over the course of the years, and like all the heavyweight battles back and forth, and like I love all those like early 2000s, late 90s heavyweight battles that you used to get, and I just don't I don't care about anymore. I don't think most people do. It's just like kind of a dying sport, and dudes just go for their try to keep their O on their record for as long as they can.
Yeah, it's fair. I've never been a massive boxing fan. I sort of, like you said, watched the Mayweather fights. You know, I watched the Canelo Triple G fights. Like I've seen most Tyson Fury fights, but yeah, I've never seen a big and I'm a pretty big combat sports guy. You know, I like to watch a lot of the jiu-jitsu tournaments, a lot of Glory. You know, I watch like crazy amount of like regional show promotions, and yeah, boxing just never captured my interest. And I think it's just due to lack of promotion.
Yeah. Well, it's a dying sport. That's okay. I train at a boxing gym, but yeah, it's great to train. It's professional boxing that's fucked. I don't think boxing as a sport's going to go away ever. You know, amateur and just like boxing gyms, kind of as an aesthetic, in the United States is a wildly popular thing. I feel like that's like still like so ingrained is like fucking. You know, if you're really down and out, like you go and you train at the boxing gym. It's a very like ingrained, like blue collar kind of American ideal, I think. So I don't think that's going anywhere, but professional boxing is fucked. They're all corrupt and padding their stats. And
yeah, it's fair.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm going to slide out, make some food. It's been it was a wild night of fights.
It was a fun night. Hopefully next Saturday is just as good.
Yeah, hell yeah. With our co-main between, did you see that message I sent out about who the co-main is next?
Yeah, Cyril Gain. He's Cyril Gahn. I don't know. I might be saying his name wrong. He's legit. He's also a former Glory kickboxer. I'm very excited about him.
You think that's the guy? Yeah,
I mean, I don't think he's like the guy. Like he's not going to be fighting Stipe, but he's.
But for this fight, I mean, I literally was very surprised to see. I don't really know anything about these guys. I will by next week, but yeah, I didn't really. That's the guy for this fight. You're thinking?
Yeah. I like Cyril. I think he's he's like this Glory kickboxer. He somehow has like 2 submission wins in the UFC. He's just like he dropped down for like a straight ankle lock with like a minute left in some fight where in the UFC where he was like dominating him.
Word. He's jacked.
Yeah, he is. He's just straight jacked. He's low volume, which is an issue, but he's gonna be fun.
after that Ben Rothwell fight, I might need a little low volume heavyweight fight in my life.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, good talking to you.
You as well.
This has been a great proof of concept. I think we'll definitely plan on doing this again for future fight cards, and especially for like the pay-per-view cards and stuff. We'll try to get everybody in. Everybody will probably be a little turned up, and we'll try to get everybody in for like post-fight kind of commentary stuff.
Yeah, I love that.
Cool. All right, man. Well, have a good rest of your night.
You too.
See ya.
See ya.